Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or older in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard.
I always feel like taking a nap during that first 38 seconds of that promo of the intro, but it's like there's just so much fast talking. I just can't do it.
I laugh at that every time I hear it. I'm the one who recorded it. Yes, folks, I got the script from you. Had it for, what was it, a phone?
The voicemail, yeah.
Yeah, phone voicemail. It was hilarious. I just thought it was great. So I said, send me that voicemail, and I transcribed it all, and then I changed a couple little things, and then I recorded it. So
I don't know which one it was. I've got my voicemails here. I don't know. Remember which one it was. Let me see. I think it was in January. Let me see. Well, it's 20. Yes. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all that because I don't remember which one it is. I've got a handful of them. That one was from 2023. Goodness gracious.
Somebody asked me, where'd you get that from? I told him I stole it from Mike. I added it to I wrote both the intros and the outros, and I added that to it. And I've had more comments on that stupid intro. Stay Off My Lawn is not a den. It's like, what do you mean disclaimers? What?
I'm sure I stole it from somebody else. So, I mean, it might have been, oh gosh, I can't think of the guy's name. Guy out in California that our buddy Charlie doesn't care for anymore. Anyway, I can't remember what his name is. Brent Allen Eagle, that's it.
There you go.
Need to call him out. But anyway, welcome to this week's episode of Stay Off My Lawn. We took us a while to get there. It's December 16th, 2025, and this is episode number 146.
Yes, we're moving up the line. And before we get any farther, I just want to mention we're doing our Christmas specials essentially for the next 2 weeks. We've kind of gotten into this, and we like to spend time with family instead of if you got company over and then it's like, I'm going to be gone for the next 4 hours. See ya. It doesn't play well with the rest of the family. So for the next 2 weeks, we're spending time with family, and we'll have 2 weeks of specials. Next week will be a radio version of A Christmas Carol from 1938. I get to play Scrooge. Out upon no Merry Christmas. Why, if I had my way, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should. Anyway, so we have that. And then between Christmas and New Year's, fun little lighthearted radio, drama, comedy, whatever. This is almost new from 1950.
Shiny. Yes.
From a radio show called My Friend Irma, the best Christmas ever. Now, in this one, both Mike and I are in the show. I did direct and produce both of these shows, and I'm so very, very proud. What's that?
You had 3 parts in that one.
Oh, yeah, and that one I did because somebody else went, okay, I'll do that one. I did. We had some very distinctive voices, and it's like, well, if they, I was the only one that was available to do. So yeah, I did 3 different characters in it.
With the range to do a couple of them.
Yeah. Anyways, so it was a lot of fun directing and acting in both of them, and the cast were the Christmas Carol one is so very well done. There are some excellent voiceover artists that are just that. They're extremely good artists. So
yeah. It's amazing how much talent's out there. It really is.
Yep. So, put them on. You don't need to watch. You can see kind of who was in the shows and stuff and the different people. So just have a listen.
If everything goes right, we'll have video, though. We will have video.
A Christmas Carol is about an hour-ish long. It's right there at an hour. We cut a bunch of that out. It was supposed to be an hour and a half. Orson Welles was the host. It's a Campbell Playhouse, and oh my Lord, they wrote everything down that he was saying, and it just goes on and on and on.
Orson Welles, if you go back to last week's show, we have a rest of the story about Orson Welles. It's very, very good.
Yes, he bloviated quite well. in that one. So,
It
and
happened.
then
Oh, we'll
the
also have a Paul Harvey Christmas story that we will tack on the bottom of that
yeah.
next week also. So,
Yeah, I forgot about the Paul Harvey part. Sorry about that.
yeah. No, you're good.
And then the best Christmas ever is just your standard 30-minute. I think it might even be 33 minutes radio show. Just something to listen to between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like I said, we'll have video on Spotify, Rumble, and YouTube. Richard's still looking for a couple of the videos, so it may not
I'm working
happen.
on it. I think we'll be okay.
We'll
One
have,
way or another, I'll have them to you in the next 3-4 days.
the neat part is you'll actually see on those two the people actually interacting through Zoom. I know at least on the My Friend Irma one, we had people in Canada. We had people from all around the country, and it was like, and you know, through the beauty of the internet is an awful dark place, and a lot of times, but really, if you use it in the right way, it's really a very neat tool. And I
Um,
just,
Yeah, and a Christmas Carol, we had folks from there was one of the
yeah, a
cast
lady from
members was in
London, right?
London,
Yeah.
and we had Canada and all across the U.S. There was, people were all over, and we just put it all together, and it came out very. I'm very proud of it. So
It's very, very cool. It really is. We did have some news this week, and I'm trying to remember what the other news is. But the Fed dropped interest rates by a quarter point this past week. I think we also added 85,000 jobs, I think. I don't, I was just going to look up the number, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, it's positive news for the economy and the job market. Now, prices are still really high, and they're probably not going to come down. We're just going to, I think Elon Musk said last week or 2 weeks ago, said that we're not going to be able to bring prices down. We'll have to grow our way out of this. And I think there's wisdom of that. Once inflation hits and gets baked in the cake, it's hard to kind of take the flour out of the cake once it's baked in. So I mean, it's the 4 years of Biden did a lot of damage, and whole COVID thing. So I mean, we're just going to have to raise everybody's wages. We're going to have to increase jobs, and we're going to have to make it where it's better. I mean, I don't know. I think it's positive. It's just a slow moving vehicle, and people are getting a little bit impatient, I think. But
well, it didn't get ruined overnight, and when something, it's funny how it can be ruined quicker than it can be fixed.
sure, sure. You knock a vase off the table and it breaks into 50 pieces. It takes you a lot longer to put it back together. I mean, it just does.
Yeah, and so
Um,
it's being done, and you kind of got to watch. Yeah, they need higher wages, but what that does is then it becomes it's a bad cycle of inflation and trying to keep that down. And currently, it's at about 2.5
yeah.
percent. So that's coming down.
I think if fuel prices keep going down, I think that it should bring down some prices.
Oh, it's dropping here like unbelievable. We've got I think I was telling you last week was still around 330 or something like that, 340.
Yeah.
It's now down. I saw a gas station just before getting on the freeway that just opened up was 287.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So it's
We're
dropped
about,
a pile. It's like 10 cents almost every single week. It just keeps boom
yeah.
dropping.
We're not dropping that fast. I think we were at 242 when I was out yesterday. But heck, it's a whole lot better than four something like it was a couple of years ago.
Oh, well, we got up to four something. We were at 5.25.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. Anyway, we did have kind of a violent weekend. I really don't want to talk about it, but we need to. It's in the news.
There's too
Um,
much of it.
yeah, there was a lot of bad stuff. We'll start with the Hanukkah celebration in Bondi Beach near Sydney, where a couple of radical Islamists, Naveed and Sajid Akram, shot up the place, killing 15 people. I think I've seen two different stories, whether it's 15 or 16, but injured dozens of others. Um, this whole anti-Semitic attitude, it's not been this bad in my lifetime. This is getting progressively worse every year. So I don't know, but I think a lot of the reason it's getting worse, my opinion, is that places like America and Australia and Great Britain and Germany, they're so liberal with their immigration policies. Just let everybody in. It's being open-hearted. We're being such good
Well,
people.
and they're people who don't want to assimilate, period.
No.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just what it is. And come over here to this country and then do nothing but badmouth the people that take you in to help you out.
Yeah.
You're not very grateful. I just saw ranting and raving this morning of a young man that, you people, you all go to work for us. I don't have to work. You go work. It's like, excuse me? See ya.
Well, it works in Minnesota. They said 80 something percent of the Somali refugees in the Minneapolis area are on welfare.
Yep.
Well, that's actually working. So, I mean,
That's not what you're supposed to be in there. If you're vetting someone, you have to have a job and do stuff and be, and not just sit there and be on the dole, as they
right,
say.
exactly. And I followed a guy on the internet in the early days of the internet. It was really there's some neat stories out there. But this guy that was from Great Britain moved to Australia, and he actually had a website. I don't think it's up anymore. It's called Bob and Oz, and he moved to Australia, and he talked about all the process that he had to go through in order to be accepted by the country of Australia to move there. He had to show that he had a job that would contribute to the economy and the well-being of the country. He had to there was a lot of things he had to prove. It was a long process, as it should be. But these guys that shot up the place, they're Pakistani. I don't know whether they had jobs or anything, but they legally owned these pistols and rifles that they used, shotguns too, in a country to where it is so difficult to get a gun.
Yeah.
They had a big buyback program, and it was 2017, something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. You would see these humongous piles of all these guns that really, yeah. Oh,
But
by
that's
the
another
way,
reason
those
why it went
two,
on.
that was a father and his son.
Yeah, sure was. Sure was. He was the father was age 50, the son was age 24. The father was killed, which again, I don't know why it went on for so long. And obviously one of the reasons is because the population doesn't have a gun in their waistband like a lot of people.
The cops didn't even go. You see, one of them was a lady officer going, surrendering to them. And, well, our officers were only, oh, it did that to me again.
It'll go away, I think.
No, it won't. I have to get rid of it. There we go. I'm going, why did we flip? Oh, because I had my hands up. Anyhow, two different officers. And then the chief of police for the area was saying, well, we only had pistols and they had high-powered rifles.
For goodness sake.
Okay, it's like, well, we're not going for that. You don't have a rifle or something in your trunk of your vehicle. Most of our officers around here, if you need that, it's there.
Right.
So I don't know what kind of clowns they are, but this guy was trying to defend him, and people are going, BS. There's no defense.
It's insane. Yeah. I mean, it went on. Some reports say 10, 11 minutes. The one eyewitness that I heard talking about it, he said it was 20 minutes. So I don't know what the real story is, but that's a long time.
Well, if there hadn't been a good Samaritan that finally went and he just went over while the guy was pointed somewhere else and attacked him, and he got shot like twice in the arm from this rifle he was trying to take away from this clown.
He was in surgery yesterday. I want to talk about him. Ironically, this hero was a 43-year-old immigrant from Syria. As a matter of fact, his name was Ahmed Al-Ahmed. He wrestled the firearm away from, I think it was the older guy. He was shot a few times. Yeah. And so anyway, he definitely a hero. I mean, he kind of got things started. And this is why you don't paint with a broad brush, saying that all Muslims are terrorists or all Christians or whatever. You just can't do that. This guy was an absolute hero, and even the prime minister went and visited him in the hospital. I saw the pictures of that, and that's pretty cool. But anyway, the son studied at an Islamic center somewhere there in Australia and was actually under investigation for possible terror ties. And it was investigated by the country's equivalent to our FBI, called the Australian Security Intelligence Organization. So my question is, how did they, in a country that is so stringent on their gun laws, how did they legally purchase a gun? Being an immigrant, first of all, seems like that would put a strike against you. And with being under investigation, how did that happen?
I don't know. And then they found in their car essentially a homemade ISIS flag, and yeah,
Yep.
the son was tied to, and apparently the more they're looking into it, the father as well, into one of these ISIS terrorist cells that
Yeah.
a group of them, they call them a cell, whatever, in Australia. So in the Sydney area, I think it was.
Yeah, it was just east of the downtown Sydney, right on the
Yeah.
beach where all this happened.
Yep.
Uh, so anyway, the father was killed by police. The son is still in the hospital. I don't know whether he's getting any kind of surgery or whatever. I'm sure they'll take care of him and then string him up, I guess. I don't know what they're going to do. Knowing Australia, they made it just like America in some places. Just release them. I mean,
Yeah, they've been extremely heavy liberal.
yeah. Oh,
Uh,
they have, and it's
it's
got to
been bad.
change. We were talking off the air about Chile is just kind of
Yeah,
gone to the
like
right.
just this last week, I guess, voted out the socialist,
Yep.
and apparently AOC was not happy about it.
Well, South America is getting a little bit, they're starting to wake up a little bit, and hopefully the rest of the world ends up going the same way because Javier Milei in Argentina, obviously a little bit of a right winger. And then you've got the lady in Venezuela that just won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Hmm.
That they can oust Maduro, she'd probably be the heir apparent to go in and take over and maybe clean that country up a little bit. What a beautiful country Venezuela is, and what a trash heap it is right now.
Oh, it was one of the wealthiest countries, and the people were all doing well. Same thing. Have you ever seen any? I remember in my lifetime when Iran was essentially, they dressed Western, just like the rest of the Western developed nations were doing great, and then that Khomeini
Yep.
got. I had other words to say, but I'll leave it out. Ayatollah
Good.
Khomeini came in. Boom! They went back to things from 1,000 years ago. They just don't. Why people thought that was a good idea, I don't know. But when they did that, their country went exceeding. It's so poor, and they're living just like they did in the old days, living in huts and whatever. Because it's
When you
it
look at
doesn't
pictures
work.
from in Tehran from the 70s, I mean, under the Shah, I mean,
Yes.
it was such a great westernized city. I mean, it was a westernized country. Things were going very, very well. And then, of course, this is where is the difference between somebody who is a Muslim and an Islamist. There is a difference in that. And the Islamists are the ones who have no patience with anybody else and takes the Quran and where it says you need to get rid of the infidel. They take that to the letter.
What was that quote you had
Oh,
when we were talking off the
progressivism.
air? Don't forget that.
Yeah, progressivism is a religion designed as a political ideology, disguised as a political ideology, and Islam is a political ideology disguised as a religion. And I thought that was something I heard from a guy. I'll give him credit, Josh Howerton. He's somebody I follow on Facebook, and he's a pastor at a church in Texas. And man, it's like that is just so true. Progressivism being that it really is a religion for you to believe that men can be women and all of those things. There's a whole list of things that you could apply to. You will just blindly follow. It's insane. But Chuck
And I,
Schumer,
I can't understand it, but then the more I think about it, because of the way that the education system is, that we had the gal that's there now, that's the Secretary of Education, is working at closing it all down.
yeah,
Because all it's
Linda
done,
McMahon,
it's allowed progressivism to be taught in the schools. They don't teach about our history, where things came from, how we actually started. They put their own little spin on it that's nothing but BS.
mhm.
And it's So if you're hearing all that, it's like, well, yeah, socialism, that's a great thing. We can all sit on our butts and do nothing for a little while. Then you're going to run out of other people's money. And New York is starting to run out of other people's money already. And he's not even in there because folks are going, see ya, and they're
Yeah.
leaving. Same thing's happening in California. They're going, uh-oh, their deficit is just starting to climb now.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane. Yeah, and I saw Portland has like the biggest budget next to New York City in the country,
Yep.
and people are leaving Portland in
Oh,
droves.
downtown Portland is horrible. They've got these huge office buildings that were down there and people working down. Used to be a beautiful downtown. It is just a trash heap down there now because they've let all these people peacefully protest and burn half the city down. And businesses are saying, we're out of here. And they're going, but, and now they're going, uh-oh, we don't have enough money for all the projects that we wanted to dole money out or put some of it in our pocket.
Uh,
And so,
exactly right.
yeah,
So they're trying to raise tax. They're actually increasing their budget like another $4 billion.
yeah, it's a stupid amount, and they think they're going to get more of this from the federal government, and it's going to come to a stop. I'm sorry,
No.
no,
Not
we're
under
tired.
Trump anyway.
Yeah, well, people are sick and tired of. Wait a minute, our tax dollars have been doing what? Going to what in what country? And then you go look at it and go, nobody got any money in that country, huh? Where'd it go
Uh-huh.
to?
Where did that happen? Well, somebody's got a nice yacht down in Curacao. So
Yeah,
um,
and
the
$2 or $3 million homes. But other than that, we can't figure out where the money went.
they made 170,000 a year. Of course, they've got a $4 million house. Of course, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer mentioned it, but he had to make sure that we knew he had his priorities straight. And this is what he had to say. He's getting a lot of criticism on this.
And of course, I'm going to say a few words about the terrible shooting in Sydney, Australia. Okay? So, and first, of course, as I always say, no matter what, go Bills. They beat the Patriots today. It's a big deal.
So a football game is more important than talking about this anti-Semitic rant that these two people shot up people in Australia. I don't make it make sense. I just don't.
Well, and since we're at that point in time, neither one of us agree with the posting that Trump did. We don't always agree. Just because we're conservative doesn't mean we follow in the footsteps. And I can look at it as Trump has been bullied, for lack of a better term, for the better part of almost 15 years. Nothing but just lies made up, trying to ruin him, trying to ruin his businesses, trying to ruin his marriage, trying to separate his family out. They've done everything under this sun to try and keep him from being president again. And this individual who recently passed away, Rob Reiner, and then the president saying something about that.
Yeah, I've got the
I
quote.
think that could have just,
It was classless.
yeah,
I think
it
that's the
was
word
not
you
good.
used. We'll get into that. We're actually over a break already, so let's take a break. When we come back, we will talk a little bit more about Rob Reiner and his wife and that tragedy there. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Mike Tarnow, Richard Durrington. The Stay Off My Lawn podcast continues next.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Next Day Carpet Installer,
Mr. Next Day Carpet Installer.
because when we're jonesing for carpet, we're jonesing for it right now.
Totally jonesing.
Thanks to you, we have absolutely no problem buying carpet over the phone, sight unseen.
Just pick up the phone.
A near miracle, an entire basement of wall-to-wall shag in less time than it takes to order a pizza.
I like pepperoni.
Your motto, if you're a payin', I'm a layin'.
Oh yeah.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, king of the carpet men. You not only go the distance for us, you do it wearing knee pads.
Mr. Next Day Carpet Installer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
I like Christmas music. There we go.
I got my Merry Christmas mug. That's
There we
what I've
go.
been using.
Yeah. Apparently, that commercial came out before the internet, so you had to call on the phone and order your carpet.
Well, yeah, it would have been. Weren't these like in the early '90s
In the mid to
or
late
mid
90s, something
mid
like
to
that.
late
Yeah,
'90s? Yeah.
something like that. It's insane. Anyway, another senseless act of violence was this Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were stabbed to death in their home in LA, and their 32-year-old son Nick, who has struggled with all kinds of stuff. And you were just read this morning, and you enlightened me on this. He's been struggling with a lot more than just addiction.
Yeah, now they said supposedly that he's been clean and sober for a while, but here's the most recent thing that somebody mentioned. Again, didn't get much time to research it this morning, but I'm going to say it anyway, that Rob Reiner has said that he was all for his son going through the change and going to be a her. And so he's on all these blockers and that kind of stuff, and it just makes people do loony things. It is not good for you. I saw a gentleman that was being interviewed. Oh, I can't remember where it was. Well, it was a gentleman who used to be a her that's now a him and has to live on like 20 different medications or more every single day, or they just go to pieces because their body is you can't make the change. It's not reversible, folks. It's irreversible.
Yeah, it doesn't make you the opposite sex. It just makes you some weird version of what you were. I mean, you're certainly not a woman if you were a man. You're certainly not a man if you were a woman. But yeah, it's made you, like you said, with all those hormones. I mean, that affects your brain a lot. I mean, I had my adrenal gland we'll talk about that next year, but I mean, it caused a lot of things because it produces hormones, caused a lot of things happen in my body. You saw why I lost a lot of weight a little over 2 months ago. It's like, yeah, it affects everything. It really does.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so that's the latest. They have him in custody. They've been questioning him. Apparently they went to check out his apartment, and it was, I mean, nothing says guilty like having a bloody mess in your own apartment. That's not your blood.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see how that shakes out. But it is an absolute tragedy. I couldn't have disagreed with him more on politics. I think he was very nasty in some things.
Yep.
His opinions. It wasn't just that we disagreed. He was just like, he was mean. He didn't like Trump, and like you said just before the break. But he was a class act when asked about the murder of Charlie Kirk, which I was kind of surprised about. I didn't hear this when it first came out, but a couple of months ago he was asked on Piers Morgan about the whole thing with Charlie Kirk, and this is what he had to say.
First heard about the murder of Charlie Kirk. What was your immediate gut reaction to it?
Well, horror, absolute horror. And I unfortunately saw the video of it, and it's beyond belief what happened to him, and that should never happen to anybody. I don't care what your political beliefs are. That's not acceptable. That's not a solution to solving problems. And I felt like what his wife said at the service, at the memorial they had, was exactly right. And totally, I believe, I'm Jewish, but I believe in the teachings of Jesus, and I believe in doing to others, and I believe in forgiveness. And what she said to me was beautiful, and absolutely, she forgave his assassin. And I think that is admirable.
So as a person, I mean, when it comes down to it, apparently he had a pretty good sized heart, and he understood that whole situation. And, I'll give him total credit for that. I couldn't have agreed with him more on that interview with the take on Charlie.
Yeah, it's, and I'm not trying to defend Trump, but I am saying from the perspective of, if anybody's ever been bullied, I was fortunate not to be a bully or be bullied, but I'd seen it happen to people, and it just tears you up after a while. Trump has ignored it for a long time, but I think this was somebody who was just extremely nasty to Trump, and he needed to just chill. Have
Well,
somebody put out an official statement and let it go at that, and not anything. What he did was not right.
could have easily taken the high road on this, and which you and I have talked about this. We certainly would have, and this is what we're doing today. I'm certainly not going to. Trump kind of stepped in it though, and what he's referring to is that a post that he made right afterwards, and I'll quote what Trump had to say. He says, "A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS." He didn't have to go there. Totally unnecessary.
That's not the time. Just like we were saying when people were saying a lot of nasty things about Charlie Kirk, or were celebrating his death, it's not the time. That's not what we do. That is not America. But there's so much rhetoric going on that as long as it keeps happening, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
And to be even more fair, even when Rush Limbaugh passed away a few years ago, Rob Reiner came out and said some nasty things about him post-death. It was classless for him to do that. And of course, at that time, his big thing was about climate change. He was talking about all this misinformation that Rush used to say about climate change. Rush has been vilified with all that, but he was right on almost every. I can't think of anything that he had said about climate change he was wrong about. So anyway, but that narrative has changed now. The liberal narrative is not about climate change anymore. They've kind of left that in the dust a little bit, especially with how freaking cold it's been this year.
Well, and all the stuff that you go back so far and looking at things, and what is it? 100 million tons of ice have been added to Antarctica.
Yep.
It's like, oh, and it's all going to be melting away. No. And the polar bears, no, they're like over 50,000 polar bears. They're doing quite nicely, thank you. So all the stuff they're trying to push on you in this world of the internet, people find things out and they do some checking and go, that's not right.
And so satellite pictures came out and they ran those numbers as far as all that extra ice in Antarctica. Man, you got nothing but crickets from the Al Gore camp.
Oh, yeah. There's a huge bay down there that they've been able to put ships in and stuff for the scientists that live down there and do all the things. They can't even get into it anymore. It is just thick with ice. So they're having to go to another way of getting their supplies and stuff because the docks they had ain't there no more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of ugliness when it comes to this political atmosphere, and obviously with Trump too. I mean, and on the left, it seems like the left is more angry about things than normally on the right. But I mean, the right's got some culpability in that too. So,
yeah.
There was another thing that happened. 2 students were killed and 9 others were injured Saturday at Brown University up in Rhode Island. Now, supposedly the way the story went, a young man ran into an economics class and shot 40 plus 9mm rounds into the people that were in there and then ran off. Now, the Brown University has been really weird on the details. Jesse Waters had a little take on this. He saw the press conference on this. I have not seen it. I couldn't find it. Maybe they scrubbed it. I don't know. But he reacted to the press conference, and this is what Jesse Waters had to say.
That was a disaster. I mean, they got the guy's height, they got his weight, and they go, well, you want to update the country on what this guy's ID looks like? And they go, we'll put it on the website. Right. You have millions of people watching the press conference live, and you don't want to tell anybody? You say, oh, I'll put it out on a website? Come on. Is the guy 220? Is he Caucasian? What? They didn't even do it. And then they get the timeline wrong, like Dana said. I couldn't hear a word he said. Everyone's trying to back off. No one knows what's going on. It's 3 days later, after a gunman walked into an Ivy League university building and murdered the vice president of the college Republicans, killed 2 people, injured 11, and walks away. We don't know where he is. We don't know what he is, and doesn't seem to be that concerning to the people that were delivering that press conference. This was a premeditated target attack. The guy was casing the facility beforehand. They have 800 cameras at this university. They didn't have a camera at the entrance to the building so you can see who goes in and out of the building. This is stupid.
Yeah. And apparently there was, I had reported there were 9 others injured. Apparently there are 11 now. But yeah, I mean, obviously, and you and I were talking about this off the air, is that, apparently the description of this guy is not going to fit their narrative.
That's the biggest problem, is that it's like, oh, we can't put that out there. That just screws up our whole narrative. That's not, and they did not want to say that the assistant vice president of the Republican thing on campus was one of the ones. There were 2 people died. That's it.
I didn't hear that
until
Jesse Waters said it, and that was 3 days later. So I didn't hear that at all. But yeah, if it was a white guy, we'd have known about it like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a MAGA person. Or, recently you just had Jake Tapper on CNN was saying that somebody, was white as the picture comes up, and he's anything but white. Just saying.
Yeah, that was, where was that? It was something in Virginia. But yeah, it was because he had a Caucasian sounding name. I mean, that can go either way. I mean, but
I am just so fed up with our news media. They are the worst. Well, I guess you got Canada and you got Great Britain's just as bad or worse.
Oh, I know, it's terrible.
But it's all lefty liberal crap, and saying we had a local news thing on about somebody who got deported because they called the police when their car caught on fire, to have somebody come and help. Well, unfortunately, the gentleman had outstanding warrants for his arrest, and his girlfriend's, and he was taken away. Not did they say anything about outstanding warrants? No, you had to go search for stuff. That's the local BS that's pushing it.
There was a video of a lady that was pulled over by the feds. I guess the feds were called when the police saw the tag or whatever. Anyway, she was in hospital scrubs. I think it was like in the Keys somewhere. It was either Key West or Miami, or it was down that way. But anyway, the video showed them pulling her out of the car and putting her on the ground and putting handcuffs on her. And the tagline was like, American has been harassed by these ICE cops and everything. And it turns out the rest of the story was that it was her boyfriend's car, who was an illegal immigrant. That I don't know how the tags are on his name, him being an illegal immigrant, but that is what it is. But anyway, they were looking for him apparently, and they didn't know about her. So she gave him a hard time, didn't want to give her driver's license. So they got physical with her and pulled her out of the car. I mean, when you get pulled over, just give them your license, especially if you're driving the car of a boyfriend that is an illegal immigrant. If you want to avoid trouble, give them your license.
You want to get nasty about stuff and push on things. Well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Like you said, the media saw that and saw an opportunity to make it look bad for the ICE agents. Yep. And I just have no patience with it. My patience is thin, absolute thin. And we got one more violent story from over the weekend. 2 Iowa National Guardsmen were killed in Syria. 29-year-old Sergeant William Nathaniel Howard and 25-year-old Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tovar. And a civilian interpreter, I don't have the name of that person, was also killed, and 3 other guard troops were injured in Syria there. And you may be wondering, now I've heard that the ISIS has taken credit for this, but I haven't read anything more about it since then. It's Syria. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah, it is. There's a reason that I will say I have a son-in-law that his job in the Navy is being on a destroyer, and he's been on pirate duty a couple times.
Sure.
and they go silent. They are not allowed to get a hold of family. You can't say anything to anybody. You can't broadcast any. They shut down the internet. Nobody does anything. That's the job that they, and this has been going on for years.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been a long, and you may be wondering why there are still National Guard troops in Syria, why they're there to begin with. In 2014, our wonderful President Obama put them there, supposedly to prevent the Assad government, the Assad regime, to access the oil fields on the eastern shore of the Euphrates River. But I was just doing some reading on this morning, January of this year, they had a regime change. There's a new guy in there. His name is Ahmed al-Sharaa. He was supposedly a lot more friendlier to westernized nations. He was installed on the 29th of January. Of course, President Trump took office on the 20th, but he supposedly made a phone call to Trump and congratulated him on being president and the whole thing. And so I guess that's positive, but I don't know why, if things are changing and he's actually a good guy, and I don't know enough about him to be honest with you, then why do we still have a presence there? They should be able to police themselves. If they want to keep the people out of those oil fields, they should have enough people in that country. It's one of the oldest countries on the planet to be able to.
The country they may have a new president. They really don't have much of a government. It's pretty much the country is ran by warlords that are always in battle with another warlord to take over more territory. It's a horrible place. It is, and they live like pigs. I don't know what else to tell you, but it is just filth. So
it wasn't always like that.
No,
in biblical times, it was actually a place of a lot of commerce, and there was this. But yeah, in the last 150 or 50 years, whatever, it's really gone downhill. I mean,
it's just sad. You had Persia and all that were wonderful places and lots of commerce and stuff back and forth, as you're saying. They were the center of the area. Now it's just a dump. I mean, these radical Islamists, it's just like having communism take over an area, and all of a sudden you look at Venezuela and their dump has money in it because it is worthless.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like what was it, Zimbabwe, where you had to have like $1 million to buy a loaf of bread because the inflation got so far out of control, and they were lighting their cigars if they had cigars with dollar bills. But anyway, we're up against another break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the Black Lives Matter lead person there in Oklahoma City is in a little bit of hot water. So boiling your own pudding, as you might say. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Kendra Raines, and I love these two old guys. That's why I listen to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast. And you should too.
Are you a liberal, ready to scream into the void about immigration, but tired of lighting cars on fire? Well, we have several tips you can help undocumented immigrants without smashing in a window. Number 1, become a host family. Put that money where your mouth is. That no human is illegal sign in your yard just became legally binding. Number 2, donate half your paycheck to immigration lawyers. You don't need rent money anyway. Social justice, housing stability. Number 3, marry one. I promise to love, honor, and protect your path to a green card until the 3-year audit do us part. Number 4, download Duolingo and learn Spanish overnight. Because nothing says solidarity like yelling, "Donde está la biblioteca?" at a deportation hearing. And lastly, number 5, read what the law actually says about immigration. Wait, it's actually a felony to re-enter after deportation? What? That's crazy. Hope this helps.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I just love these helpful people.
It does. It's very helpful. Yeah. Goodness gracious. And biblioteca, in case you're curious, is the library. Anyway, donde está? Anyway, one of the leaders of the Black Lives Matter is in a bit of hot water in Oklahoma City. This is
We've known this for how many years, and they're just now, because the Dems are out of quote unquote power for now until they cheat and get back in again or whatever they're going to do. Yeah, we've known about this, and now it's coming to fruition.
At one time, they were saying, just like they do now with Antifa, it's not an organization. It's not a real place. It's not a real thing.
Yeah, right.
It's a real thing. Here we go.
Authorities say over a 5-year period, 52-year-old Tashella Sharia Moore Dickerson, just like the song, the executive director of Black Lives Matter OKC, diverted more than $3 million in return bail checks right into her very own bank accounts. And tonight, thanks to a 25-count federal indictment, she faces up to 450 years behind bars and millions in potential fines. Dickerson charged with 20 counts of wire fraud and 5 counts of money laundering following a scheme in which she's accused of routing money intended for the group's programs into accounts that she controlled between June of 2020 and October of 2025. The indictment said she used the money for her own personal benefit, including travel to Jamaica and the Dominican Republic, tens of thousands of dollars in retail shopping, more than 50 grand in food deliveries, also a vehicle, and 6 real estate properties as well. When contacted about the charges, a spokesperson for BLM says that they practice a, quote, model of decentralized leadership. And while Dickerson is obviously presumed innocent until proven guilty, you may recall that BLM actually had a situation back in 2022 when the group, not the one from OKC, came under fire after allegedly making a $6 million property purchase in California.
Yeah, they've got nothing but trouble. I actually had to look up what decentralized leadership was because I had never heard that term before. It is basically all levels of management can be autonomous and make their own decisions without their bosses having to know.
Apparently, that meant I can make my own, and I have the money. Okay, I wanted to use this, and if you saw her, yeah, I can see she probably ate that much. That was
I was going to say when he paused about the food deliveries, the picture that he showed, she's very round.
She's healthy.
She's healthy. That's it. She could be a model on Sports Illustrated. That's why Sports Illustrated isn't around anymore because they put these chunky chickens up there in a bikini and whoo, man.
None of the money from any BLM, wherever the hell it might have been, went to anything but the people who said, we're doing stuff for BLM and we're going to, and they didn't go to a typical Democrat that went into their pocket. Kind of like a lot of the money from the USAID that was supposed to go to some freaky sounding, and 1% of it maybe went there. The rest of it all made a U-turn and came back where it came from.
Well, with BLM, really all you needed to do is just hand out signs and deliver pallets of bricks. I mean, other than that, what else do you need?
Which a lot of that was paid for by Soros, who used our tax money to do that with. We paid for our own riots.
And you had to have a dry cleaners to launder the money or whatever. I mean, mattress stores or whatever you want to use.
Well, that's what they many years ago. That's where the term laundering money is, because it's a cash business, and the mob would run things through, and it was hence the term laundering money.
My son brought that up to me a while back. It's like, why are there so many mattress stores? And why are there never any cars in front of them? Because whenever we had to go buy a mattress, which is about once every 8-10 years, we're the only ones in the store most of the time. It's like, how did they stay in business? How much money they killing me for in a mattress store? So, I mean, I think there's a lot of laundering going on right under our noses. So.
Well, it doesn't exist. Yeah, she's in, and I was just wondering, what was it amounting to? 700 years, was it? Did you?
450.
Yeah, 450. So when she passes away, do they just move the box to a different cell? I mean, I don't know.
As soon as she comes out of the womb from her new mother, then they just bring her straight to jail. That's what I'm thinking, is start all over again. Come on, you got to pay up, girlie. And no more Twinkies for you, because she's
Oy vey.
Anyway, Representative Eli Crane, I'll be honest, I have not heard much about this guy before, but he's from Arizona, and he reminded Democrat Emily Randall from Washington State, of course, Washington State, and all the other Dems in Congress that they're full of it.
Washington State's going to be in a lot of hot water real quick. People are leaving there in droves right now.
Yeah. And you can't tax people who don't live there anymore.
I will tell you, California's trying. There's an exit tax, and they're going, no, that's not constitutional in your ear. It's not happening.
I was going to say they tried to pass it. It was that one, I can't remember that one state senator that was on the news for a while when he was trying to do that. That once you leave for 2 or 3 years, they were still going to tax you for the state. And it's like, yeah, you were
come and collect it.
Goodness. Anyway, he said he kind of put this what's her name, Emily Randall, in her place on the House floor the other day. It was really good. Here we go.
We're here to fight for every single person who lives in our country, to make sure they have fair representation, and to make sure that we are funding our states adequately. We're not here to try and rig elections so that more Republicans win. Mr. Chair, I yield back.
Chair recognizes Mr. Crane from Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My colleague just said we're not here to rig elections to make sure that Republicans win more elections. That's exactly what you guys are trying to do. You guys are trying to rig elections. You guys in the last administration let in between 10 to 15 million illegal aliens. I also want to point out that you guys keep referencing the Constitution. I got some Constitution for you. How about Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution? It requires that the federal government protect each state from invasion. That's something clearly you guys did not do while you had the presidency. And now that we have these millions of illegal aliens in this country, we're just simply asking that we put a question on the census, are you an American citizen? And of course you guys don't want to do that, because you know that if we do that, and the American people find out exactly how many illegal aliens are in this country and voting, they're going to be as appalled as we see each and every day. And you guys don't want that. And they're not allowed to vote. And you guys try and block every single effort that we make in this House to stop illegal aliens from voting. You guys blocked the SAVE Act as well. That's exactly what this is. You guys are trying to rig elections, and we're trying to stop it. And we're not going to apologize for it.
I like him. I've not heard much from him, so it's
yeah. Well, and the Democrats, of course, they were, and this is before Trump got, we're not letting people in. The Penguin mentioned this. He said, I just love that term for him. That's all I see when I see him waddling, and he's done. He's leaving now. But they were saying, we're not going to have, they can't vote. We're not going to, well, here's some news for you. In 2021, there was like 750,000 or less than that of illegal aliens were given Social Security cards. It was like 250,000. It was 250 something. And then it went to 500,000 in 2022 that got Social Security cards. They haven't paid a dime of nothing into anything, and they got them. And then in 23, it was just shy of 1 million illegal immigrants got Social Security cards. Oh, but wait, there's more. In 2024, they ramped up heavy. Then 2.1 million Social Security cards were given to illegal aliens. So all total, what are you looking at? About an extra 3 million? No, close to 4 million illegals were given Social Security cards, meaning they can get you and my retirement money, and then it's running out of funds. I don't know where it's going to. They're news to me. Anyway, Gee, I wonder why 2024 there would be so many. Yeah. I think there was a big election that year.
That's right. They're trying to. They needed the voters, and and it does sound like a conspiracy theory. I'll be totally. I get it. It does sound crazy, but it's just crazy enough to me. But they do these kind of things to make us sound crazy. But this is actually what they're doing. Like what the lady said, Emily Randall. Well, we're not here to rig elections. Well, I mean, the first thing you do is like, oh, honey, I'm not cheating on you. It's like, where did that come from? why
and
would
you would say that? Why?
Point in that direction. I mean, anyway, Richard mentioned the penguin. His name is Jerry Nadler. You need to look him up.
Sorry,
because,
I should have said his name, but I didn't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, what's he going to do after me? He can't catch me. Anyway. But you need to look up the video of him to where he just gave a speech, and it like he how do I say this? It looked like he pooped his pants, and he waddled over to the side. He did, obviously, and he's like, you could just tell he looks like a 2-year-old that just filled his diaper and just walked over to the side and stood there like. It's funny and gross at the same time.
Sad and everything else. This is
gross. It's funny and gross. Yes.
Yeah. It's somebody who shouldn't be in Congress anymore.
My goodness, no. And he's just such an irritant. Oh my God.
Oh.
You said he's running for re-election? I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, he's done. He's retiring. Some of these folks go, yeah, it's time to leave.
Yeah.
And then you got Schumer that it's time to leave, but I don't know. I don't think AOC is going to amount to much because she's speaking of those that are trying to be senators.
Are we talking about that?
Yes, Jazzy Crockett is just, oh my Lord, she is just just said some of the most ridiculous, asinine things. Even Democrats are going, we're not supporting. No, you're on your own.
She's out there, but I think she's going to be the Democratic nominee. But please.
No, I don't think she's not even winning that. I don't think hardly.
You don't think so?
Oh, no. People in Texas are going, we don't want anything to do with her.
And I mean, I'm not a fan of John Thune, but I mean, I think that's the seat she's
like
running for. But, he would still be better than that. It is John Thune, right? Isn't that the seat that she's shooting for?
I don't think he's going away. I don't remember who the senator is that's, I don't trust Thune any farther than I could kick him. I would say throw him, but that wouldn't give me as much satisfaction as kicking him.
Anyway, the Senate seat is held by a Republican. I was thinking it was John.
Yes,
Thune.
and I don't, I think it's going to be Scott, or I mean.
Oh, yeah. The Attorney General that's right now.
No, he's in the House right now.
Yeah. How about that?
All of a sudden, his name, I see him. He's very eloquent. Came from West Point, and when people say, "Oh, the poor blacks," he just jumps all over them. Really, I had no. What
Wesley
did
Hunt.
I do that somebody else can't? What's that?
Wesley Hunt.
Wesley Hunt. That's who I meant.
Yeah. She's not going to have a chance against any Republican. Hopefully, in Texas, they still have. Some common sense about them.
Well, if you live in Houston or Austin, they don't.
They don't.
They're idiots.
Or even in Dallas, that's where they elected her.
There's a bunch of them there too. Yes, that's true. So it's
anyway.
Gone. Anywho, yeah, we got after all this, what do we got for a palate cleanser? And then we got some more information for you.
This guy showed a lot of testosterone in this quote. So he's not part of this. But Glenn Beck, love him or hate him, I think he's brilliant. He has a lot of great ideas. He's a very smart guy. I enjoy listening to him. I don't always agree with him. I think he's a little off center on some things, but for the most part, he's right on target. But knowing how the low T GOP in Congress and heck, even in the president in the Oval Office sometimes is very disappointing. He has come out with this new version of the poem called A Visit from St. Nicholas, or as we most of us know it as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. This will be our palate cleanser for today. Enjoy.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the rite, not a plan could be found that was honest or tight. The base hung their stockings with dwindling care in hopes that a real GOP would soon be there. The voters were nestled with thoughts growing bleak, while leadership mumbled the same lines each week. And Mama in her MAGA and I in my cap had just settled our hopes for another year's crap. When out on the House floor there rose such a clatter, I sprang from my desk to see what was the matter. Away to C-SPAN I flew like a flash, just in time to see Congress set fire to our cash. when what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature bill wrapped in fraudulent cheer. With a leadership driver so slippery and bland, I knew in a moment they had no real plan. More rapid than progressives, their excuses all came. They whistled and shrugged, and they shifted the blame. Now tax cuts, now budgets, now spending galore. On omnibus, on bailouts, on debt, here's some more. To the edge of disaster, let the treasury fall. Now charge away, charge away, charge away all. Like money that flies into DC's furnace flies, they burn through our future with pork-stuffed supplies. So up to the debt ceiling skyward it flew, with a sleigh full of nonsense and excuses too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the hill the whispers of justice that gave me a chill. Indictments, investigations, I leaned in to browse. Are they really cleaning house? No, they were spying on you and your spouse. The CIA, FBI, and DOJ, too, had wrapped secret programs in media view. Their web spun like garland through the bureau and press, a tinsel of treachery, a deep state Christmas mess. But the GOP stood there, all timid and meek, not drawing a line, not even a squeak, not at Nazis, those socialists vile. Yes, socialist kids read a book once in a while. They claim to love markets, the founders, the laws, yet cave every time when confronted with flaws. Their words are like snowflakes that melt when they land. No principle strong, no backbone at hand. I spoke not a word, but went straight to my list. A party that means what it says. Did I miss? A repeal of Obamacare. That isn't pretend. A budget that cuts more than taxes, my friends. I signed it with hope, though the odds seemed quite slim. Constitutional principles. Teach them to them. And if you've got space in your sleigh for a treat, wrap corrupt officials for prison so neat. Santa sprang to his sleigh with a cynical grin. Kid, you're asking for miracles. No one's voted in. But I heard him exclaim as he flew out of sight, Merry Christmas to all. And to the GOP, get it frickin' right. Just maybe once.
Just maybe once.
Get it right. Yeah, there's a lot of that of you're just in there sitting around and pretty soon there's going to be elections and you're not done squat.
Right.
So
right.
I'm tired of hearing tuck, 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 talky, tuck, tuck, tuck. That was in South Pacific. But at any rate, yeah, do something. Don't talk about it. So.
I'm waiting for Pam Bondi to still perp walk somebody and I haven't seen it.
Nope. Getting a little fed up. Anyway.
Yeah. Me too. Anyway, we hope you were somewhat. Oh, but let's talk about.
You want to do this first? Okay. So for the next 2 weeks, we're spending time with family, and we'll have 2 weeks of specials. Next week, we're going to have a radio version of A Christmas Carol from a 1938 version radio play. I play Scrooge, and then between Christmas and New Year's, a fun, lighthearted radio drama comedy from 1950. My Friend Irma, The Best Christmas Ever, and both Mike and I are in that show. And I was fortunate enough to direct and produce these two shows, and the actors and people that got cast in it just did phenomenal work. I couldn't have asked for any better. So even Mike was good, but don't tell him because it'll blow his head up.
I can't fit in the door. We don't take weeks off very often unless one of us is in the hospital or something.
Which that may be coming up here before too long.
Yeah, I think in January I'll have some information, and you may too.
I may too. I'm all approved. I'm just waiting for dates on when they're going to slice, dice, and make julienne fries.
Yeah, so I've got an appointment with a surgeon on Monday, so we'll both have information for you in the first show of the year, which will be actually the 6th. Wow. Okay. So the 6th of January, Richard and I will be back and we'll fill you in on everything that's going on with us and talk to you about people that will fill in for us while we're out. Hopefully it's not.
We'll fill you in when we're out.
Something like that.
Yeah.
can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Something. Anyway, we hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and there's video on Spotify now, iHeart, Amazon Smart Speaker, or Rumble, or wherever you get podcasts.
Yes, and if all that's difficult and you can put in a website, just go to our good old website of stayoffmylawn.us for all our past and present episodes. And we so much appreciate everybody watching. To let you know, folks, we are now in 48 countries around the world, and we're up to 146 episodes. So we just can't thank you all enough. Tell a friend if you're enjoying it. Today's was a bit of a bummer, but it's kind of what the news was.
It was.
So,
we don't write the news; we just report on it. So
So we send blessings to everyone for a joyful Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year to all of you. And we will see you in January.
See you in 2026.
Toodles. Well, we had fun and hope you did too. The opinions heard here today are not those of anyone other than Mike and Richard. If it made you laugh or go, or even, then we've done our job. Sort of. Well, mostly anyway. And if we made you think about things in a common sense manner, we welcome you to the club. And if it didn't, then just stay off my lawn. See you next time.